upcoming trip to Puerto Rico, and what can you get out of it?
This is kind of like Christmas in July for a couple of you guys, because we never allow you to come in the summer. So thanks to Tom Dorado and his persistent efforts is why we're doing this today. But no, it's been good. We've been here, I want to say 7 weeks, and then week number 8 will be next week in Puerto Rico. We leave on Saturday. I think we play Sunday, Monday, Wednesday.
I haven't seen this schedule.
I think that's right. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll play so the Puerto Ricans have a professional league, and in that league, they have the playoffs. Well, they're in the playoffs now. So a team lost last week in the playoffs, and then basically what we do is we pay more money to get those guys to stick around. So then instead of playing, like a lot of times you'll go over there and you'll just play whoever's in the country that is a professional, and they'll just kind of throw them all together. We'll have an actual team, and the coach will coach that team. Now, does that mean that, and I'm just going to use this name because I saw his name on the list, like Ryan Archidiacono that played at Villanova is on the team. Does Ryan for sure stay there? I don't know that 100%. But if not, another team that lost, they could pull a point guard off of that team and put it on that team. So it should be good competition, at least 2 out of the 3 games.
What have you learned about this group since you've had them? There's still a lot to learn, I imagine, but what have you learned?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely we've got a better sense about the game of basketball. We're you know, things that maybe you had to coach and teach in previous years. This group picks up on very well. There's certain things you don't even have to teach. They understand that, hey, here's the play to be made, let's go make the play, rather than trying to help somebody learn how to make that play. So the basketball feel is a lot better. I like our size. You know, I mean, you look at, let's just say that you started either Jacob or Kanye. I mean, you know, Jacob's probably 6'1", and Kanye, you know, he tells me he's 6 feet all the time. So after that, though, you literally could start 6'5", 6'8", 6'10", 7 foot, you know, and so your size is so much different, which, you know, is different it takes up more space on the floor, and it allows you to do some things differently defensively.
Is there anything beyond just getting to know this group and seeing them in action against another opponent that you're hoping to get out of this trip?
Yeah, I mean, the NCAA gives you 10 practices in the summer when you take a foreign trip, and so that's the biggest thing. I mean, I've told you guys a million times, I like practice. I don't necessarily like the games. The games are for the players, right? That's their time to employ what we worked on in practice and their time to shine a little bit, but I like the practice and the teaching and the competition behind closed doors where people aren't watching, because that's when you truly learn about your team and you learn about your players. So the 10 practices are invaluable, and I mean, we have practiced. It's not just been 30 minutes, it's been 2 to 3 hours every single time, in addition to your 8 hours a week that you get with the NCAA. So that's the best thing in my mind. But I just think that it puts you further ahead in terms of now you go into those exhibition games in September and October, and now you've played some games, you've played quality competition, so you shouldn't have to learn quite as much, and hopefully you can be sharper in the preseason with what you're doing.
How have the 4 freshmen adapted to your practice style?
Oh, they're all beat up a little bit right now. They're freshmen, you know, and it doesn't matter if you were the 500th ranked player or you're a McDonald's All-American. It's hard. It's hard when coach is not telling you that everything you're doing is correct. It's hard when you come across the lane and somebody lays you out and you've never been hit like that before. So they're all beat up. They spend a lot of time in the training table, but they're all wonderful human beings, and they're going to be good basketball players.
Similarly, how's that sophomore group sort of gone from year 1 to 2?
Good. Yeah, good. I mean, Makai, you know, I give Makai a lot of credit. He went in the month of May and part of June out to Phoenix to, I don't know the word to use, maybe get healthy and to really learn to the nutritional aspect of how he needs to function. And, you know, he dropped some weight and he came back and he looks slimmer and trimmer than he has. So I'm really proud of him. With that being said, he won't be here today because his grandmother passed, and so he had to go back to Atlanta. So, and then Ben has continued to trend forward. I like where Ben is, and I like the fact that he continues to get in better shape, and he spends a lot of time in the gym, and his skill level has increased, and his touch around the rim is getting better, and he's catching better, and all those sorts of things. So again, I think they just continue to move forward. And then Ryan as well. You know, Ryan has done a good job with his body. He's in great shape. It's the best shape I've seen him since he's touched foot on campus, and you know, I expect big things out of all of them.
Your strength and conditioning staff changed. Is that something you can see in just 3 or 4 months, or is that more of a October, November, December
Yeah,
thing?
no, that'll be October, November. I mean, you know, Marcus is a big loss. We love him, and we wish him well. But Gavin, I've known forever, and is from the same tree, so to speak, as Marcus in terms of the way they view strength and conditioning. And Gavin has fit right in with the guys, so it's worked out perfectly. But no, I think as you know, as the year goes on, that's where you'll see the gains that will be made. And you know, like Jalen, for example, Jalen's already put on 4 or 5 pounds of muscle, which is great. You know, and he needs to put on some more, but he'll continue to do that with Gavin and under Gavin's watch.
I know it's still early, but can you give us an idea of maybe the projected starters?
Oh, hell no. No, you guys, wow, we're gonna have to cut these July things off. No,
What's the
guys,
composition like for
I have
this?
no idea. I have no idea. Number one, who knows? They could get hurt in between now and next week, but because they are banged up. But man, we could roll out lots of different lineups, and I plan to roll out different lineups in Puerto Rico. Like it's 4 quarters over there. It's FIBA rules, so we may start different quarters each game. Now our goal is to win. Like, don't mistake this. We're going over there to compete and to win. But I also want to see who plays well together and try the different lineups out.
Kanye's decision to return, he talked about kind of the leadership role. How do you see him sort of stepping into that role and maybe being a leader of this team?
Yeah, no, Kanye's done a good job. I think that he kind of had a turning point somewhere around January of last year. And this is just part of where we're at in today's basketball world. I think that's kind of when he turned the corner and maybe started trusting the staff and buying into what we're doing. And again, you asked about, you know, what does the summer and the foreign trip help with? That should help with that. Because, you know, I can tell them until I'm blue in the face that I promise none of them anything, right? I'm going to play the people who are going to do what we ask and who are going to play the way that we want to. But until we get in the game and those guys that are not doing what they're asked sit on the bench, they don't see it and they don't believe it. But back to Kanye, after January, February last year, I really thought he bought in, and he's continued to do that. He's continued to try and help the young guys. He's continued to try to help the new guys, especially those that need it, and you know, be a leader. I expect him to be one of the better point guards across the United States this year. I'm going to be really disappointed if he's not.
Kanye kind of downplayed what coming back meant for him, but we asked Ben, and Ben said he's already noticed a difference vocally, and just like where Kanye maybe more of sat back and led by example. He said he feels like he's seen Kanye like pull teammates aside and say, hey, I know you can give more, like you need to do more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, that's part of the growth and maturation process, but that's also part of the buy-in, right? And once he bought in, and last year I thought that his game took off. I thought that our team played better, and you know, he's carried it over to this year. I mean, I'm not going to speak for him, but just through his body language, through his conversations with myself and the staff, he expects this to be an unbelievable senior year for him, and for us to reach our goals, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get there, and that requires him to be a leader.
That you phrase it as kind of a lack of trust. Is that or maybe not fully bought in into that January portion? Is that just kind of maybe the new big thing now when you have to rebuild rosters and with the portal and everything every year?
Yeah, no, it's not I'm not casting a shadow on his character,
Yeah.
right? And it's not necessarily they're not bought in, but it's like when we get a new job, like you're kind of waiting in slowly to figure out how things are, and it's easy for the coach to tell you something, but until it comes to fruition or he stands true with what he says, you don't know if it's really always true, because different coaches are different ways. They'll tell you something when they recruit you, and when you get there, it'll be different. And we try obviously not to do that here. So, I think that's just part of the culture that we currently have in college basketball. It just takes a bit.
There was a big court case, one with Nat over the summer. How big was that for the program, and how nice is it to have him on the roster?
Okay, you'll have to clarify a little bit more, because Nat is not part of a group lawsuit.
Okay.
Nat has a temporary restraining order, and that has allowed him to come back and play. There will be an impending court case at some point. I just don't know much about it.
Okay, so what is his status right now? I guess
He's fully cleared to play based upon a temporary restraining order granted by a judge.
Okay.
There will have to be a court case at some point. So like when you guys see in Ohio that these, I don't remember what it was, 20 kids or 15 kids, they got cleared and have a temporary restraining order, an injunction, whatever it's called, and they're cleared to play. But there'll be some more to come out of that. The same with California, the same with Tennessee and North Carolina and Florida. It's going to continue to it's going to be a mess.
Okay, so is he available in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, he's available in Puerto Rico.
Okay, so he can practice with you right now?
Yep, he'll be there today.
Okay.
Yep.
Steve, entering year 3, are you at the point where you feel settled in here at Oklahoma State, like that you've been able to implement kind of what you've wanted to do? I just wonder if like this could be like, it's not necessarily new anymore.
Yeah, well, it's new every year though.
Yeah.
I mean, because you have 10 new faces, right? It's new. But I would say in terms of where I like to go eat and where I like to go and those sorts of things, yeah, I've settled in. But I've been that way since day one. It's been an easy transition for me. But from a basketball standpoint and a basketball program, because we've had continuity in staff, and because we've been able to retain some players going into this year, I think that's helped speed up our transition with this new group.
One or two more.
How important is Puerto Rico, not just for the on the court, and it's important, of course, everything on the court, but off the court camaraderie, these guys, just beach time, just going out and having fun away from Stillwater, and just to grow as a team, chemistry and such?
Yeah, no, I think it'll be fantastic. I mean, we're going to go paddle boarding, we're going to go on a catamaran, we're going to a rainforest and hiking through it. Yeah, and that's where you learn about your teammates, because like I won't allow them to take their phones. And so you'll have to talk to your teammates, and that's where the jokes start to come out, and you really get to know one another on a personal level. It's hard. I mean, guys have their own apartments these days, and it's not all 15 of you in a dorm, and you're all showering in the same location and those sorts of things. So it's a little bit different. So yeah, in my mind, the practices and then the camaraderie are the most important aspects of the foreign trip.
One more.
How much have you had to learn about the legal process of late? I imagine like a lot of it's not really in your control, but you want to stay caught up on it. Do you have somebody that like sort of tells you what's going on? What's that aspect of this like?
Unbelievable. And I've said this to you guys before. I mean, the things that we've learned as a college coach in terms of contracts, in terms of negotiations, in terms of revenue sharing and NIL, I mean, it's unbelievable. I understand, and we don't have a general manager here, mostly because of budgetary restrictions, but I understand why people have general managers, because if you don't have a business sense, or you don't have people to help you, man, you're going to have a hard time navigating it by yourself. And luckily our staff, especially James, does a great job of helping with all of that. But I'm very, very hands-on. And then now you start with the litigation process, and that's a whole nother animal, right? I mean, I don't know the exact number. Well, I want to say that the NCAA has spent $350 million last year alone in defending themselves, and the system currently has some things that need to be tweaked, and until those are tweaked, and until there is some sort of backing by the government, I think we're gonna just continue to see people trying to exercise these loopholes, right? And I think that the 5 for 5 is a good step forward. I think that will eliminate some of this, but because of the timing of their rolling it out in the summer, it's gonna be chaotic in between here and, October. It really is. So, but yeah, I mean, I've learned way more than I ever wanted to be honest with you. But it's also been very interesting. It's been very interesting to listen to the different sides of the equation.
I think we've hit our time limit.